What's going on, party people? Yes, I know it is not Friday, but unfortunately, it is Monday and it is a new week. So, you know what that means. It's time for.
Ridiculous.
That's right. That's right. Drew Dickinson here, as always, to discuss with you each and everything that is Manchester United. And, not much on the news front for United except for the transfer business. So let's get right to it because the last few days have been quite productive for Manchester United. And we're going to start with Donny van de Beek. His time at Manchester United is done. That is a wrap. He is off to Spain, Girona to be exact. The initial fee for the transfer is going to be around 500,000 with potential add-ons, depending upon performance and games played, minutes played, whatnot. So it could end up being between 4 to 6 million pounds for Donny van de Beek. And, I all the best to Donny, and just going to wrap this up short, sweet, simple. Things just didn't work out for Donny in England. He came over from Ajax for 40 million pounds with the help of Edwin van der Sar. Didn't really get off the ground running under Ole. Got sent over to Everton. Didn't really play much. Another went out on transfer again. Didn't really play much. Back at United, and I think this is going to be best for all parties. Kind of a way for Donny to restart his career because once he left Ajax, where he was a very promising young up-and-coming player in European soccer, things just didn't work out for him in England. So Donny off to Spain. Mason Greenwood, he arrived at Carrington this morning, did not train, but met with club officials regarding, trying to find a new team or staying at United. I'm not too sure what the possibilities are of him staying, but I know that Juventus was in the mix. There was a massive uproar from their fans. Didn't want someone with the, let's say, track record, if you will, of Mason Greenwood at their club. I know Lazio was in the mix, but it looks like Ligue 1 team Olympique Marseille, they've thrown their name in the hat, and they right now are currently leading the race for the signature of Mason Greenwood. Once United figure out what to do with Jadon Sancho, who is definitely not returning to United, he is waiting on a bid from Juventus, possibly for a loan with obligation to buy. So listen, you get money from the Mason Greenwood sell, you get money from the potential Jadon Sancho loan, maybe the buy from Juventus or another club could sneak in. Transfer window really hadn't even opened yet. But, that could possibly fund one, maybe even two more signings in the summer for the offensive side of the Manchester United squad. Earlier today, Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, who I will be quoting as far as transfers, only two people I will quote, only two people who I trust, only two people with a track record that speaks absolute volumes. Manchester United and Bayern Munich are reportedly in talks right now for the Netherlands national team center back Matthijs de Ligt, who himself has given Manchester United the green light to negotiate. He's very keen on joining Manchester United. He's put the kibosh on other clubs to start negotiations with Bayern Munich as he only wants United, which you'll hear me say many, many, many times. I absolutely love that. It's one thing for United to want a player to come play for the club, but it's another thing for the player to not want to play, but only come for the money, as we've seen so much in the past for Manchester United. So for a 24-year-old center back who has a lot of familiarity with Erik ten Hag from their time at Ajax, they've offered him a 5-year deal. It was accepted. So now it's time for Bayern and United to negotiate that transfer fee. De Ligt left Ajax, went to Juventus, didn't work out. Now at Bayern, didn't work out. But from what I read today, there's about a 60,000 person signed petition from Bayern Munich fans who are trying to, for their own right, squash this transfer. They want De Ligt to stay. Remember, only 24 years old, and they said in their letter that they think he's the best defender that they have. Well, unfortunately for that, De Ligt, still young, hungry, wants to prove himself, and what better place to come prove yourself with a familiar manager and a club at United who want you. He wants us. So 35, 40 million pounds, I think, gets the job done for De Ligt, and that's just wonderful business. So United, Bayern, they're at the drawing board. One thing about De Ligt that I can kind of question is his injury status the last couple of seasons, hence why he doesn't get off the bench for Bayern as much as I would like to see him. We saw him get off the bench in that Champions League final against Madrid and play fairly well. He plays behind Van Dijk and Nathan Ake. Ake playing for, of course, Manchester City, and Van Dijk, who is the crown prince of the Merseyside at Liverpool. But, my opinion, I think Van Dijk's kind of losing his step, and I'd like to see De Ligt kind of get himself back in there. Remember, Julian Timber, he's out with a ACL tear. He's in content with that Netherlands center back spot. So lots of movement with Bayern Munich and Manchester United for De Ligt, but I hope and I expect that signing to get over the line probably after the Euros. So moving on. Same two people, Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, also reported another Netherlands national team player. This time the striker, Joshua Zirkzee, plays for Bologna. He's also given United the green light to start negotiations. And I read something today from a very reliable source. He is chomping at the bit. He is very excited to come join Erik ten Hag's Manchester United. All negotiations with the players' camp are agreed. Zirkzee's got a 40 million pound or so release clause that is valid until August 1st. Excuse me. There's pros and cons to signings, of course. And like I mentioned, the con for De Ligt, and really the only con that I can think of for Joshua Zirkzee is that he's a young and upcoming center forward, just like Rasmus Højlund. But one pro, I guess, is with this signing with Zirkzee, it allows Ten Hag not to just play two different strikers, but two different kinds of setups, two strikers with two different skill sets. And it's just very exciting because, again, he's another young and up-and-coming striker, easy for me to say, but a different type of player than Rasmus. Another great signing who I think would benefit Marcus Rashford on that left side to a T. Another wonderful potential signing, Manuel Ugarte, right now at Copa America with Uruguay, currently playing for Paris Saint-Germain. He is their central defensive midfielder, and he himself is keen on the move to United. So Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United, in negotiations, it said that PSG won around 60 million pounds for Ugarte just to kind of recoup what they paid for him, what they paid for him for. But I'm United will try and probably lower that down between 40, 45, 50 million pounds for Ugarte. Again, that's three players, three positions that are in dire need for United, with Casemiro up for sale, the exit of Rafael Varane, and I'm sure there's going to be the sale of one, if not two, of Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. So you're talking about three incredible signings for under 100 million pounds. Yes, please. Real quick, another potential defensive signing, United could possibly be looking at a left back. And from all points that I've seen, it looks like a reunion with Sergio Reguilon could be in play. And again, yes, please. Talk about somebody who came in on loan, and because of the medical team, Ten Hag allowed to leave early, he put it all on the line for the badge. And again, that's just something that you can't ask, you can't teach. And I just love that. I do sense there are more signings to come. Again, just depends on outgoings. I think we just literally right before I pressed record, it's talking about Maguire and Lindelof before United has even offloaded one of those two, who I think could have the money to potentially help fund the Jared Branthwaite signing. We just heard from Ornstein and Fabrizio that United went in with another bid for Branthwaite to Everton, a bid of £45 million with £5 million in add-ons. Apparently, that is expected to be rejected as well. Remember, United went a few weeks ago to Everton with a $35 million bid for the 21-year-old center back Jared Branthwaite, the U21 England international. And of course, that was rejected. It said that Everton see Branthwaite in the similar class as Wesley Fofana, Gvardiol, and Harry Maguire, who all went for over £75 million. So it looks like United are going to have to go back to the drawing board with Everton and probably put up between 50 and 60 with add-ons to get Branthwaite. But again, I don't think they will go that high unless one of the two, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, is sold. Other players on the chopping block, of course, Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, Hannibal Mejbri, and as mentioned before, Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho, all for sale. And rumor says that maybe Scott McTominay will be for sale as well if the price is right. So again, the sale of these players could free up money as far as more names for incomings. The likes of Euro, who I'm pretty sure he is 100% off to Yuri is off to Real Madrid. The Frenchman Fofana, and of course Jared Branthwaite are all admired by Manchester United. Ineos, I tell you what, they're making a splash early here. I mean, so far this summer, Erik ten Hag extended. Ruud van Nistelrooy joining Erik ten Hag's staff. Dan Ashworth, who was being touted as a $20 million fee from Newcastle, Barada and United got him for £3 million. He is about to hit the ground running at Manchester United, and £50 million into the rejuvenation of Carrington. That's all in just a few weeks' work for Sir Jim Ratcliffe at Ineos. And I know I was badgering him before the whole Erik ten Hag saga, but it could have been made a little bit quicker, but that's just me, and I digress. With a little bit more attention to the women's team, I could argue that Ineos have been just near perfect so far. And once the transfer window opens up and the Euros end, look for some of those names mentioned above to put ink to paper. And also, some of those names mentioned above will have found new homes. Who will they be? We will just have to wait and see. Of course, stick with me because I'll have all news and updates with the 3D or on my Twitter account or Instagram. Just follow those accounts. Real quick though, Kobe Mainu, Luke Shaw, still with England at the Euros. Semifinals this week. Kobe Mainu, guys, just 19 years old, already a huge part of the squad. Probably going to get the start again. And Luke Shaw, getting his first minutes on a soccer pitch since February, showed what England had been missing the entire tournament. Is it coming home? Not sure, but I do hope that Shaw and Kobe come home healthy. All righty, guys. Look, my time for today has come to an end. Once more information is available on incomings and outgoings, of course, I will be sure to fill you in. Like I said before, make sure that you're following me on Twitter at Dickinson Jr. 18. That's DICKINSONJR18. And of course, the show account Soccer Down Here at Soccer Down Here. Guys, thanks so much for listening. I'm sure we will talk soon. Maybe a new 3D on Friday if there's enough to talk about. If not, I'm sure I'll figure something out. But again, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great week, everyone. Drewski out.
Ridiculous.